Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Rowling. Do you believe you are capable of choosing your future? Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you, for you to believe in yourself. If you find yourself continuing to say, someday I will take better care of myself, only to continue living the same day over and over and over again, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I am your biggest cheerleader, inspiring you to become you on purpose and with intention. Are you ready to create a life you love? I'm excited to share with you some big ideas that you can use today to inspire, impact, and influence your life and everyone in it. The Becoming You show starts now. Hello, my friends. How are you? How is it going? I am super excited. This is pre-recorded because I am headed to a retreat mastermind in Punta Cana, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about the holidays and Friendsgiving, and I geek out on all of it. So I'm super excited about the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited to finish this year super strong, and really, really, really excited about what's coming up in 2024. And I'm going to tease a little bit about that throughout this podcast and then podcasts to come. But I'm excited about our conversation today on patient urgency. I didn't really know what to call it, but as I was working through the copy and the outline, I was like, oh yeah, this is what it's going to be called. So patient urgency. I don't know about you, but every year for literally the majority of my 20s and 30s and 40s, I have had to remind myself to be patient. I have had to remind myself to trust, and I've had to relinquish this illusion of control. But as I was talking with one of my dear, dear friends about the program that I'm looking to launch, this idea of patient urgency was born. I am super excited, as I mentioned, about a few programs that I'm launching. One, for either current coaches or ones that want to become a coach, or at least learn how to better coach their teams at work, their themselves, their children. And then I also have a program that is coming out. It's a course for teenagers and parents. We just recently lost a teenager in our town, and I'm super passionate about getting the tools that I teach, not only to the leaders of the world, but the parents that are trying to navigate the adolescent years with their children. And so this passion and patience, I find, for me, often butts heads, right? They're often at odds with each other. It's a delicate dance of the immediacy and momentum of urgency with the calm and thoughtful approach of patience. So this idea of over desire comes up a lot in the coaching calls that I have, whether that be over desire to lose weight, over desire to make more money, the over desire to find the right partner, the over desire to launch new programs in the world, the over desire to fix people. This over desire creates this tendency that we as achievers know too well. And that is this idea of overdoing. Now, I know if you are listening to this, it's because you care about how you show up in the world. It's because you desire more for your life. You want to be your best, feel your best, do your best. And I love that about each and every one of you. I love that about me. However, when we overdo by way of our over desire, we end up burning out. We end up overwhelmed. We end up frustrated and hopeless. And we get stressed and we get anxious. We lose sleep. We become short with people, all of the things. And when I teach this concept of goal attainment, I teach that you must believe in your goal, that you must visualize your goal, that you see yourself having achieved the goal, and that you identify as the who that is required to accomplish it. And yet, sometimes in our efforts in achieving the goal, we overwant it. And therefore, we overdo it. And so I want you to consider the reasons that we, myself included, become impatient with our goals. The first reason that I see, and that I see probably more times than not, is that we believe that it will be better there than it is now. We believe that when we lose the weight, we will be happier. We believe that when we have more money, we will feel secure. We believe that when we launch the program, that we will feel more fulfilled. And for me, this was really hard to navigate because my brain kept offering me, Leah, this program needs launched. Leah, this program will save lives. If people knew this work, if they knew that feelings are created by our own thinking and no one can bully us without our permission, maybe we wouldn't have teenagers taking their own lives as the fastest way to peace. And then I'm reminded, results, the attained goal, does not create my feelings. The thought about the goal creates my feelings. And why does this matter? Well, in this case, in my case, when I'm impatient with the launch, thinking that it should be faster than it was, the energy fueling the behavior that I was taking was actually slowing the progress of the goal, not to mention exhausting me. So I had to coach myself around this. I need to take the feeling that I thought I would get from the goal, fulfillment, in this case, and use that energy, that emotion to fuel the action that is required to get the result. When we become impatient in this way, by thinking it will be better there than it is here, we reject ourselves. We think that something outside of ourselves will complete us. We reject not only ourselves, but the very life that we have in the moment that is seemingly not good enough. And that some external circumstance or situation, AKA the result, is for sure what is needed to make it good enough. Again, this applies to whatever it is that you want. And I believe that we all want something. We want more money. We want to be thin. We want to be more fit. We want better relationships. We want to feel less lonely, right? Whatever it is. And over wanting and overdoing and over desiring of that thing makes us disconnect with the very thing that is required for you to get what it is that you want. And that thing is you. We reject ourselves, our life, our abilities in this moment for something in the future when everything will be better. And then we're reminded that it's not going to be better there. It's not. It's still going to be 50-50. It's going to be 50-50 here and now, and it's going to be 50-50 there. And for me, this helped me remember that me overdoing, over pushing, over wanting this launch was taking away from the very thing that was required to have this launch successfully. Me, that my very best version of me is the thing that's going to get these programs launched. And when we find ourselves wanting to be, right, someone different, or thinking that we'll be someone different when our circumstances change, that is what creates the problem. When we are in a rush to escape who we are in hopes that there's a better who, just waiting for us to be thinner, to be richer, to be more accomplished, we exhaust ourselves. And then we forget that the real reason that we want anything in this life is because of a feeling. We want to be thinner because we think that that will make us happy. That's an emotion. We think that when we're richer, that we will be more secure. An emotion. When we launch our program, we will feel fulfilled. An emotion. And that's why I'm going to offer that the why is insufficient. The why to be thinner, the why to be more wealthy, the why to be more fulfilled creates this impatient belief that the power is in the why. And it isn't. It isn't. The power is in you, the who. We think that the result will get us out of the pain that we are in. But the only reason that we are in pain is because we have lost access to who we are in hopes to be anyone other than who we are. And in our attempt, we try to outrun, outsmart, out-accomplish. And we put all of our effort, all of our time, all of our energy in order to get the result because we think that the result will solve for our pain. And I want you to consider that our impatient pursuit is the reason for our pain. And in this impatient pursuit, we end up exhausted. And I think this is where so many of us find ourselves in this all or nothing mentality. We are either all in the relentless pursuit of the goal, and then when that doesn't heal the pain, we decide to not even bother. And although we're not putting forth the relentless effort, right, that we're still in pain because there's effort either way. We're still trying to solve the problem with the wrong solution, okay? The solution is not the result, nor is it a different situation or circumstance. The solution is you. The thinking, feeling state. The solution is always in your being state. It's always you. It starts and ends with you. The what, the where, the how, the why, that's just part of the journey. Right? I get it. We're not conditioned to believe this is true. We're conditioned to believe that if we have more followers on Instagram, that we will be more successful, that we'll be more happy, that we'll be more famous. We've been programmed from the earliest days of my recollection that overdoing and overrunning and over desiring, and it's just not sustainable. I know we also know this. But what I don't think we realize is that the way to our goal requires patient urgency. One that is gently pursuing success. This is the only sustainable way. Sustainable actions creates sustainable results. And remember how we defined patient urgency? It was one of immediacy and momentum of urgency with the calm and thoughtful approach of patience. Meaning, when I asked myself, Leah, are you willing to let it take as long as it takes? In other words, if this launch takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, would you want to continue to pursue it? And the answer for me is yes. then my work, the work that I get to do, is to believe that the result will take as long as it needs to. And then I get to continue to work at it by doing sustainable action, not by overdoing it in a rush to feel better now. My work is to feel better now so that I invite this best feeling better version of me, the who, the solution to the goal. And I make peace that it will take whatever time it takes. And I navigate it with an abundant, trusting energy in myself, knowing that I don't need, nor do I want to be any different. Rather, can I feel differently along the way? The goal was never to change my reality, rather to enrich it, to see what I'm capable of along the way for my betterment and my growth. So, are you asking yourself these questions with regards to your wants? Are you willing to take whatever time it takes? That's patience, by the way, to pursue it actively, to explore more of it that you already are. Are you? Think about your goal right now. Is your goal to lose weight? Is your goal to get more healthy? Is your goal to get more fit? Is your goal to run a marathon? Is your goal to run a 5K? Is your goal to get out of the job you're in right now and start a new job? Like, what do you want? And are you willing to take whatever time it takes? Whatever time it takes. Or are you impatiently pursuing the goal in hopes to save you from yourself? This is huge, you guys, because I truly think that the only reason why any of us ever fail at a goal is because we quit. We quit it. If we were to just allow the goal to take whatever time it takes and to have sustainable action towards that goal, our goal would be inevitable. It just would. So I want you to think about this. What would you have to think? What would you have to discover? Who would you have to become? And those are great journal prompts, my friends. Okay? What would you have to think? What would you have to discover? And who would you have to become in order to be less all in or all out on the goal, but rather all in on ourselves? Woo, right? What would you have to think? Well, you'd have to think that I'm just going to take whatever time it takes to get to the goal. Because when I get to the goal, it's not going to be better there than here, right? It's not. The only reason why we set a goal in the first place is to see what we're capable of. So let's see, that could be fun. What would I have to discover about myself? What would I have to learn? What competencies would I have to develop? What mentorship would I have to seek? Maybe a coach, maybe a different way of thinking, maybe a course, maybe a podcast, maybe a book. What would I have to discover? Maybe I would have to just start journaling more about my thoughts and my desires and my dreams. Maybe I would just have to dream again. And who would I have to become? Who is that version of you when that goal is complete? That's why I love visualization, because visualization invites you, right? Invites you to see who you've become after you accomplish the goal. It does. It invites you back in. It invites you back into your life. So what does that look like? I know for me, it looks like having beautiful boundaries around what my want looks like in my life, without the buy-in from others, without the permission from others. Rather, For me, an invitation to explore where I am now and where I want to go, and trust that I am the one that will get us there. I'm not saying I'm doing it alone, my friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I got the vision. I got the vision. I know what I want. I can see it. I know who I have to become. And I try to be that person now. I know what I have to think. And I try to start thinking about what that person that accomplished that goal, what she's thinking about now. I know she's going to be proud. I know she's going to feel fulfilled. I know she's going to feel excited. But I know she's going to have the 50-50 there, because no doubt there will be another course. There will be another launch that she wants to put out into the world. Right? And I love to do that work. I love to do that work. This is why I love the idea of setting up rules and guidelines for my life in all of the areas of my life. But of course, rules with regards to the work that I'm doing on my want. I must boundary it. I must put rules around it. I must protect it. I must safeguard it, right? I mentioned this in the last podcast, but rules, my friends, do not confine us. Rather, they free us. They free us from decisions that our toddler brain will make. Because remember, the brain wants what it wants right now. The toddler brain is incredibly impatient. It is in a rush to feel better. And it is not aware of its own conscious genius. The toddler brain doesn't even realize that the solve is of its own making. Rather, it thinks that the toy or the cracker or the candy is the way. This is why having these rules and making decisions ahead of time is the key to living consciously. Consciously choosing with our future loving part of the brain, our prefrontal cortex, is the way to create the results that we want in our life. And when we decide on anything in the moment, it will most likely not align with what is in the best interest of us long term. We will usually be overdoing it, all in, or underdoing it, all out. That all or nothing, and you know when you're in it, that is not your prefrontal cortex at play. That is your toddler brain, right? I mean, I'm going to have a temper tantrum. And then when I didn't get my way, I'm just going to not do it anymore. That's all or nothing. So patient urgency is consciously choosing ahead of time what is required of me so that I can maintain this passionate pace indefinitely. Now, I get it. There are times when our life requires us to perhaps overextend and even underexplore. I get it. But for the most part, the key to getting what we want in the long term is living in the middle with patient urgency. Patient urgency is regulated progress. It is making decisions ahead of time. It's staying disciplined to those decisions. I just think there are just too many of us that are overdoing and trying to outrun ourselves, thinking that that is what's required to feel better. But when you realize that you are the creator of your feelings and tap into the emotional intelligence that's available for you, you begin to realize that you are the vehicle. You are the tool that is required, not the result. And when you tap into your brilliant mind and you decide more consciously about what you want in your life and what you want it to look like, the reason why this work is so important is because I want to do my part to help you understand what is going on with your brain and in your body so that you can get the results that you want. Not because your life will be better when you get there, but so that your life can be better now. Okay? Again, right? We're not going for the goal. We're not impatiently exhausting ourselves for the results in this way. Because your life won't be better there. You just get to choose to have your life be better now. That's why I love this work. And so as I wrap up this episode, I want to encourage you to take a moment to reflect. Like, what is one small, sustainable step that you can take this week to bring more balance between passion and patience in your life? And maybe you just take a minute now to just journal on what areas of your life do you feel the most impatient? Are they with your kids? Are they with your significant other? Are they with your finances? Are they with your health? Are they with your fitness? Are they with your weight? And I want you to recognize what that impatience is creating for yourself. It is sabotaging your ability to be the very best version of you. And remember, you are the way. You are the way. You are the reason that you will either get your result or you will not. Right? And I want you to recognize how understanding the balance between this passion and this patience is slowing down your progress in the impatience of it all. So as you go about your day, I want you to remember that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. And if you want to learn more about what is happening over here in coaching land, get on the wait list at Shift for more information. But the couple things that I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm creating a Teen Well course and program. So if you are parenting teenagers right now or have kids right now that you want to be able to teach them this work that isn't taught in academia. We're not taught how to think. We're not taught how to feel. We're not taught how to communicate. We're not taught about self-regard and self-concept and confidence and self-esteem. We're not taught that. And I truly believe that if our teens, our adolescents, even younger kids understood this work, they would be able to navigate the muddy waters of middle school and high school way better. I'm also putting together, and it's going to be releasing at the end of the week, a boundaries guide for the holidays. If you struggle with boundaries for the holiday in any way, overspending, over drinking, overeating, overindulging, overing all of it, overdoing, over presenting, over wrapping, over just everything, and you struggle with having relationships and having boundaries around relationships, this boundary guide is a must. It is, it's awesome. My team did a beautiful job on it. It's gorgeous. And the writing prompts in it and the frameworks and the strategies to help you navigate to a very peaceful and joyful and blissful holiday season is probably one of the best courses that I've created. So I'm really excited about that. And then we have Shift coming up in January. Shift is a coaching certification program. So if you've ever wanted to certify yourself as a certified coach, check us out, find me. I'll give you all the deets. But I've pretty much taken all of the certifications that I've had and I've gathered over the 3 decades of my life, which is too exhausting to list, and I'm running out of time. But I've taken the best of the best from the best of the best. And I have really structured a certification program that I think will help you better coach yourself, better coach other people, put together coaching programs if you've ever wanted to coach, and or if you are a leader or a manager with teams. It's knowing what you know about leadership and management, and I say this with all the love in the world, it's insufficient. People don't need to be led, nor do they want to be led. People don't want to be managed, nor do they want to. They want a coach, someone that will help them discover themselves and make decisions for themselves. Remember the who? The who is the vehicle. And when we're telling all the who's in the world what to do, and we're trying to fix all the who's of the world, I believe that is why we have a world that is lost. So there's a certification program there, and there is a coaching component where I like to think is the ecosystem for personal development. I believe that we can no longer let our personal development, our self-mastery be at the whims of the random nature that most of us are getting personal development and exploring self-mastery. A podcast here, a book here, a course here, and calling it personal development, it's not enough. It's not enough. We have to make personal development a way of being. We have to integrate it into who it is that we are. And so shift coaching is that ecosystem. It's a personal development ecosystem for any human that wants more for their life, any human that wants to build a better life for themselves, for their families, for their legacy. That's what this coaching program is about. And I am thrilled to release it. So any questions on any of that, you know how to reach me. I love each and every one of you. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that you are part of this community, that you're part of this movement. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, wherever this podcast finds you listening to. And I will see you next time. Take care. Mwah. Bye. You have been listening to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Rolling, where I share big ideas to inspire, impact, and influence your life. Tune in every Friday at 11 Central on transformationtalkradio.com for your morning cup of coffee, the hug you never want to end, and that inspirational message that you felt was written just for you. Each show is inspiring you to become you with purpose and intention. For more information or to connect with me, visit www.leahrolling.com.